Yeah. So let's start. So let's assume uh, you have joined a startup as a founding engineer, and it is your first day, and you also have the founding product manager with you, which will give you requirements and everything. But yeah, you just joined as an software engineer, but what is the catch here? Like you joined in 2015, not in 2025. So you have to consider like what are the all technologies we are using, and maybe cloud was not popular at that time or something like this. So we are assuming like it is 2015, so we have to build our MVP based on that. And your task is to build MVP, and you like your company got funding also, and funding is there. What is the next thing? It is the first day, and what we are building as a MVP. So product is similar to Instagram, but let's assume it is Instagram. So it is MVP. So like we should be able to support 10k users, active users per day. So this is our requirement, and you also got a PRD of features from your product manager, and you have the PRD. So like on first day you will read the PRD and familiarize yourself with the product, how like what you should be building, and yeah, what is the next thing? And also assume you have a timeline on this, like you have a launch date in 30 days. And assuming this, how should I go about it? Like, should I start writing some technical TDDs or some architectural document before proceeding, or maybe just one pager, I would say, because I don't have much time to build it. So I would be preparing one pager of the services or the flow, how it will go. So what should I be building? So I would be, let's consider I will create one monorepo. Okay. So what is monorepo? So monorepo is the single repo in which all the services are there. So what services I will be creating? Like it is a monolithic architecture, because if I have to create microservices, then it will take a lot of time, and I am just the single person to build it. So I'll just create a monorepo, and in monorepo I can divide it into multiple services. Just for the sake of it, like I can go with this single. Let's say I just deploy a Python based application, let's say Django, and I can use Django templates to create front end also. But let's assume like it is MVP still, like I have to like there can be some limitations with the Django templates, and I will go full-fledged front end. And let's say for monorepo I'm going with Python, in like for backend I will go with Python. And in why I'm choosing Python, like what is the criteria? I joined as a founding engineer, and I have experience in Python, so I think Python can be a good choice here to build the Instagram product. And other languages also we can choose. We have to see like if it is fulfilling our use case. then it is fine. Like we can choose another language. And so whenever you join any company, and if you see there is already a language there which is getting used, then you will try to use that. But when you join a company when there is no product, then you have to decide. So there can be two options. You can go with your strength, like if you know Python, you can go with Python. And also you have to consider that it will fulfill our use case. Then only you can go ahead with that language. Otherwise you will have to read it. So choosing the right language is also one of the uh, core things which you will need to consider before creating anything. And yeah, the support in that language and everything. Okay, so let's say there is a front end also. Okay, and maybe I'll be using react.js for this. And in future there will be my ML stuff also. Like I need to recommend posts also. I need to recommend maybe some creator also on Instagram. So I'll be using yeah. So I'll need to recommend creators. So I'll be using maybe Python for this also. So what I have created is like a monorepo, and yeah, I'll be implementing more services. So it is a monolithic architecture based on the backend. Like I haven't divided backend into multiple services. So what can be the services in Instagram? Like there can be some auth service there. There can be some service which would be handling our like maybe recommendations, and recommendations will be calling ML service. And yeah, but for now like backend will be calling ML service to fetch the recommendation. So there is no separate service. So this is a monolithic architecture based on the backend, but there are services basically. And yeah, what is the next thing? Like you started writing code. So let's assume like you have written the code. What is the next thing? Like 2 days after, one intern joined, and you want to like groom him, and you want him to work on some other features. And what you did is you created a zip file, and zip file of the code, and you sent it on email. And yeah, then your intern downloads it and started working on it. So he's working on it, and he completed one of the feature, and now you face some issues there. Like in front end you were working, and also in the same file he was working, and you found out that when you pulled his code, when he sent his code in a zip file to you, then there are some conflicts there. Like there is some different code he's writing, and you are writing some other things. So how should we solve this problem? Like sharing of code basically. So there are some tools available, like you can use GitHub. So what you did is you created monorepo, and before creating that monorepo, you were writing code in your own IDE. Let's say maybe Vim or VS Code. You were just writing the code, and you haven't created the monorepo. And yeah, before creating it, you were just doing this, and this created problem. So what you did is, you created monorepo on GitHub, or maybe you can use GitLab or Bitbucket. And also you forget one of the thing, like you need to save images, and images can be some big files. Also you need to save the images which are uploaded by the user. So it can be videos also, like in Instagram you can have videos. You need to save it somewhere, and you are not using your what we'll say, like some S3 kind of storage, right? We have a catch here, like we can't use cloud, so what we'll use. So you can create your own service, right? Like you need to save images. Like there can be some open source softwares or like open source platforms are available which can help you with this. Like there can be some S3 compatible. If you search for S3 compatible storage, so you can see a lot. Like there is Minayo, and it is open source. You can use it. So it comes with a server, and yeah, so it is similar to S3, but it won't be saving on the cloud or somewhere. It will be saving it in your machine. So you can use that, or you can create your own service called object storage. So how you will go about this? And yeah, so this is one of the problem we need to resolve before we go ahead, because it is the major part of the problem. Like we need this in MVP. So how would you go about this? And yeah, so what you can do here is maybe you can see how all the files are saved. So if you go here in yeah, so if you go here and do ls, and yeah, if you see there are these files, right? How they are saved, like there is a specific path in your machine where these are saved. So image is also a file, like video is also a file. Can you use this architecture to build it? So maybe like on in my DB, what I can do is I can save a video based on the user, and I'll just save it their path, like user slash xyz slash the video dot mp4. I'll just save it and use it. So but like I need to see like on which server it is saved, and there will be many things. But yeah, there is a solution to do this. And when there was no S3, people were using it, and yeah, you can just use it. What is the next thing? Now you are able to write the code and do everything, and you are not using cloud, so you will be deploying on your server. And assuming you have all the networking in your server, so what kind of networking will be there? Like users should be able to access your server when they type instagram.com or instagramclone.com, and it should be reachable to your server. And once that is done, like we will not go into this, but assuming like the traffic is reaching to your server, now you need to deploy your code on the server. So what you did is, like you were having a Python application and you are having React.js application. You just ran the server on you just ran the let's say you were using Django server, and you just ran let's assume you just ran python main.py on the server, and it started running. And yeah, but then there is React.js server also, and it is running as well. Let's say you deployed it and it worked fine, but uh, your local was in Mac, not Mac, like you are using Linux as your laptop, and your like server was also in Linux. Okay, both are Linux, and it worked fine. Now, what you did is like you upgraded your laptop, and now you have the MacBook with latest specifications and whatnot. Like, you have everything like good MacBook, and now you want to continue on this deployment, and suddenly, like when you deployed, it worked fine, but now when you try to locally run it, and it started failing. Like when you do pip install requirements, and it started failing on some package which was not compatible with your MacBook, like macOS. So you face this issue. How should we resolve it? So one thing you can do is you can just have the separate requirements file for each OS. But like let's say there are 3 OS, you are managing Windows as well, so this creates an issue. What else? So we can, maybe there should be something similar to, let's say there should be a container. Like let's say your backend is running in a container, and you have all the requirements there, and this container is based on Linux, and you decided like you will work with Linux for now, and yeah, and now there should be some configuration. Like let's say if I just run this container in my MacBook machine also, it should be able to run. So this is the concept of Docker. If you go here and search for Docker, so you'll see a lot of things around Docker. We won't be going into detail in this session. Like there will be some separate sessions on this, but yeah, we have something called Docker, and we will be using that to containerize it. So that will fix our problem with respect to packages breaking, or also it will fix the other issue. So let's say you were using some other version of package, and your intern was using some other version of package, and one was not compatible with the other machine, and it started breaking on it. So you just need to specify which kind of base image you need to use, what kind of packages you need to use, and you'll be good. Okay, so yeah, now you fix this problem. What is the next problem? It worked fine, like you deployed it, it started running, and what did you deploy? Like it was Docker based application, and you deployed backend, you deployed front end, and what else you deployed? You deployed Postgres as your primary DB, and also you deployed one service called object storage, which is basically like file storage, and it will be saving your files on a specific location on the machine. And yeah, so there can be issues in file storage, like how will you work with distributed systems. There can be many issues, but for this case, like we are assuming it is a single server, and you are just noting down the path of the machine, and Yeah, now you have deployed everything. What else? So now comes the problem of sign in. So like in Instagram you have to sign in, and one random day, what happened? So I call this sign in problem. So assuming your product manager says that I'm not able to log in, just I am not able to log in by PM, and they send you a Slack message. What next? Next you checked. Next you tried to log in. Now you are able to log in. But how? Why not your PM? Also, we assume that we are in same office. What else? So if we are assuming we are in same office, we have the same network and connectivity. So what should I check now? Assuming I haven't configured monitoring, no APM. So what is APM? Application APM means that is application performance monitoring, and like there are many APMs like New Relic, Datadog. So what it does is like it will see your metrics, it will see like how is the uptime of the services, it will check the logs and everything. Like you can configure what things you want from APM. So no monitoring is there on APM, no APM, no Grafana, no Prometheus. So if you have heard these terms, it is good. Otherwise, I will be introducing these things in my next sessions. But yeah, so these are monitoring things, but you don't have it. So you just have your Linux server, just that you have to log in to your server and debug it. So what you try to see here, it is sign in. So I check the logs. So what I will do is I'll go to backend. I'll check the logs. So maybe we use tail command to like just view the logs, and yeah, you can stream the logs. Like there can be many Linux commands you can use, and yeah, once you start seeing the logs, and you will see like when your PM is trying to log in, and it is good that you have added logging in your backend service, so you should be able to see what kind of logs are printing. So like first let's check how sign in works basically. So assuming we have email and password signing, okay. So from what is the input here? That is email, and next is password. Okay, these two things. So you will be saving passwords in hash in your DB. You won't be saving it directly as a string, plain string. So yeah. So what you will do is you will convert this password into the hash, and then you will try to match the hash if that hash exists in your PostgreSDB or not. Then what you will see that in case of you try to log in, you are saying hash matched, which is good, and you are able to log in. what is the next thing? In case of PM, you are also saying hash. So both are matched. Okay. But so when they say that they are not able to log in, you need to check the API response codes as well first. Okay. So in case of you, it was 200, and in case of PM, it was 502. So what is 502? If you go 502, so it means that one server usually received an invalid response from another server before trying to fulfill a request. This is a server side error, isn't easy with device or internet connection, web server are involved. So it can be an issue of server not receiving the response in the correct timing, or let's see how we can resolve this 502, like why PM is facing 502. But when you are trying to see logs, you checked that hash is matching, so it is able to connect with Postgres, but it is not able to return the response to API in some seconds. So what are these seconds? So 502 is coming because we are not able to get the response from backend to the client in 30 seconds. So 30 seconds is my time for any API to give me the response. So how I decided this? I decided this with my reverse proxy that was configured Nginx for now. So we'll go in detail in reverse proxy when we'll see it. But let's assume it is a service which will talk to backend, and front end is directly not talking to backend. So front end is calling to Nginx, and Nginx is calling to backend, and in Nginx you didn't receive the response from backend in 30 seconds, so that's why it gave the 502. So now what should I debug? So luckily I had added one log, like there are some more logs in sign in, but let's understand what is as a response. So one is able to sign in, we should be receiving some details of the user, maybe some name, maybe some preferences of the user, and other things. What are other things? Can be like profile image, etc. Okay, so I need to check when I try to fetch the profile image from my object storage file storage service, and when I try to check from that, so I had this log called fetched from file storage. So what I'm saying is, in both cases, when I am able to log in and my PM is not able to log in both cases, this log is not printed. So what can be the issue? Why this is not printed? So it can be only printed when you have a profile image. So I checked, I don't have the profile image, and my PM is having the profile image. I checked the Postgres, and this looks like an issue because it is not printed because it timed out. But if it is timed out, I should be able to see some logs. And I saw some logs in Nginx that there is some upstream service timing out. So yeah, this can be the issue. So our backend is not able to connect with this service. So this timeout is 60 seconds. So we waited for 60 seconds for the response from backend to object storage, but 30 seconds was the timeout for backend and front end like Nginx. So this is the issue. Like internally we are using 60 seconds for timeout within our services, and externally it is 30 seconds. So this timeout is not useful. Like we should be able to see the timeout under 30 seconds, so that we can communicate effectively that we face this timeout and there is an error in the logs. So it should be printing some error in the logs, in the backend logs, that this is getting timed out, but it is not printing in that because it is printing in Nginx because it was trying to hit object storage via Nginx, and that's when it was printing, but you won't see directly like from the API. It was not able to like connect with it. So yeah, this is how you can debug. Like there can be multiple things you will be checking when you will try to debug, and maybe you would be checking the data also, like if the data is correct in the DB or not for both of the both of the users. But yeah, there will be a lot of things to check, and yeah, this is the classic. I would not say classic, but yeah, this is a problem which will uh, make you think like you should be debugging more and more, and yeah. So how should you improve this? Like maybe in sign in API, you can just return the user, maybe just return 200 response without any info. Maybe like it can be just info related to your DB, not the external files or anything. You can just return 200, and the next API call you can return the images and all. uh, this can be one of the solution of this, and you can implement monitoring there and connection. You can have some regular connection checks within your microservices or any service. So yeah, this is the way you can improve it. So this is the like good problem to start with, and we'll going in details when we try to build and scale this system. And in next section we will be scaling the system one by one, scaling individual things, and we'll be seeing more problems related to this, and how you will debug, and